Beats and actions. As an actor, your goal is to create authentic, compelling moments on stage or screen, and one of the most effective ways to achieve this is through beats and actions. Understanding and employing these concepts helps you embody your character fully, giving each scene depth and realism. Beats are distinct units, or shifts in a scene where the character's dynamic changes. They represent smaller objectives, or moments of adjustment as your character pursues their goals. Actions, on the other hand, are the tactics you employ to achieve your scene objective, or overall objective. Every action should be motivated by what your character wants from the other character in that moment. For instance, Jon Voight's performance in A Dog of Flanders illustrates how powerful these choices can be. Throughout the film, Voight's character uses actions like "to make you feel safe" and "to impress you with my loyalty," which set up his paternal bond with the boy. Even before the audience discovers the character's biological connection to the boy, these choices make it believable and emotionally satisfying. Each scene involves specific scene objectives, what your character wants from the other character. The beats are the shifts, or turning points in the dialogue or interaction, where you might change tactics. For example, if you're playing a character trying to persuade someone, one beat might involve appealing to their sense of reason, to convince you I'm right, and when that fails, you might shift to an emotional appeal, to make you feel sorry for me. It's important to consider the type of person the other character is because this influences how you choose your actions. If the other character relies on their intellect to navigate life, you need to meet them on that level to get what you want. A purely emotional appeal may fall flat. Conversely, if the person is guided by their emotions, you might focus on making them feel understood or cared for. The choice of beats and actions must be tailored to the interplay between characters. All your action choices should feel like they have the urgency of a life-or-death situation. Imagine performing with the feeling of having a gun to your head. You wouldn't make any throwaway comments. Every line, gesture, or look should be intentional and filled with purpose. When the stakes are high, every detail matters. Your beats and actions must consistently support and drive towards achieving your scene objective, making each moment count as if it were crucial to your survival. This approach requires you to pursue your beats and actions consciously. You can't simply perform them as if checking items off a list. Instead, you should actively go after each beat and action, adjusting based on the other character's responses. For instance, if your action is to make you laugh, and the reaction you get is a forced smile, or a sarcastic laugh, your response should reflect how that makes you feel, prompting you to adjust your tactics in real time. By reacting to the other person's response, you stay present and engaged, preventing a pre-planned, robotic performance. This constant pursuit of a reaction keeps you out of your head and in the moment. When you focus deeply on provoking a response from the other person, it becomes harder to watch yourself from the outside or fall into a set way of delivering lines. It creates a sense of spontaneity, similar to high-stakes moments in real life when you want something desperately. You become hyper-aware of every inflection, facial expression, and gesture of the other person, interpreting their signals in real time. This level of focus enhances the authenticity and intensity of your performance. It's also essential to understand that you can repeat a beat and action within a scene. For example, if your scene objective is to get you to trust me, you might first try to impress the other character with your honesty. If that doesn't work, you might switch to an action like to show vulnerability, and later circle back to reinforcing trust by sharing a personal story. Repeating a beat or action isn't about redundancy, but rather about persistence in trying different tactics to achieve your goal. Experimentation is key in rehearsal. Don't just decide on your beats and actions intellectually. Acting is a physical, dynamic art form that requires you to try things out on your feet. Only by testing various approaches will you discover the most effective beats and actions to propel your scene objective forward. You might surprise yourself with choices that work far better than expected, creating moments of unexpected truth and connection. To make your actions even more impactful, consider physically realizing them alongside the words. Often, what makes a scene memorable isn't what's said, but how it's done. For instance, on The Larry Sanders Show, Gary Shandling initially relied heavily on the words, but the real comedic power came when he learned to incorporate physical actions into his performance. Instead of just delivering lines, embody the action fully, whether it's trying to impress someone, intimidate them, or win them over. This physical expression of beats and actions makes your performance more dynamic and engaging. Committing boldly to your beats and actions is crucial. Push the boundaries of your choices without fear. The more risks you take, the more exciting and truthful your performance will be. Don't censor yourself in rehearsal, explore all possibilities, even those that seem slightly off. You may discover that what initially felt like an odd choice ends up being the key to unlocking a powerful moment in the scene. Remember to look beyond the literal interpretation of the script. What your character says they want might not align with their true desires. A character discussing divorce might not actually want to leave, but instead wants their partner to prove they love them enough to fight for the relationship. Reading between the lines allows you to find deeper, more complex beats and actions that align with your true scene objective. For example, in the play Burn This, Elizabeth Shue's character appears to push Peter Sarsgaard's character away, but her real intention is to make him prove that he loves her. If she had played the lines as if she genuinely wanted him to leave, it would have undermined the deeper desire driving her actions. Instead, Shue chose actions like to test your love, or to make you stay despite my pushing you away, which ultimately served her scene objective of to make you prove that you love me. This supported her overall objective of to find passion in my life again. Your beats and actions should always support your character's scene objective, which in turn supports the overall objective of the story. Think of them as smaller, focused steps that contribute to the larger journey of the character throughout the narrative. As you find the most effective way to drive the story forward in a scene, remember to ground your performance in the motivations and needs of your character. Finally, use the concept of the moment before to add depth to your beats and actions. What happened to your character just before the scene began? This context informs your emotional state and your approach, giving you a springboard for your first action. By understanding where your character is coming from, you can start the scene with a clear, immediate goal in mind, setting the stage for a dynamic, layered performance. Every beat and action is a crucial part of the journey, helping you to tell the story with nuance and authenticity. By making bold, specific choices and adapting in real time based on your partner's responses, you create a compelling performance that draws the audience in and keeps them engaged.